cup of coffee after a long night. First kiss after a bitter fight. The first time we see each other after too much time. Something's gone, but we're still here, and it's alright. If this is a drug, keep me prescribed. These are the side effects I want for life. You make me feel like heaven needs to take its time. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. You make me feel like heaven needs to take its time. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. First note you played on the midnight piano, our voices raised, holding the stars in place. The first mile on the first road where we let go. First time we let our hearts race. If this is a drug, keep me prescribed. These are the side effects I want for life. You make me feel like heaven needs to take its time. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. You make me feel like heaven needs to take its time. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. I know this moment is following the last one out. Can't seem to hold it down, but I hope it stays around. I don't wanna move. You make me feel like heaven needs to take its time. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. You make me feel like heaven needs to take its time. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move. I don't wanna move.
Yeah, we go way back where we started from. We were hometown heroes, high enough for everyone. Yeah, we go way back where we started from. Oh, we used to say it's one for all and all for. One by one, they went their ways. Some stay close and others fade away. These memories aren't what they seem. The house I knew, was it all a dream? Yeah, we go way back where we started from. We were hometown heroes, high enough for everyone. Yeah, we go way back where we started from. Oh, we used to say it's one for all and all for one. One for all and all for. Once I knew life moves too fast. Take a million pictures, live inside the photographs. 'Cause colors stay, but we have changed. And when our hearts are heavy, you know I love you all the same. Yeah, we go way back where we started from. We were home
Hello everybody, hope you're doing alright. So today we're gonna take a look at the Bitcoin chart as usual. I'm gonna show you what I'm reading and how I'm reading it, and hopefully I'm gonna give you maybe a trade ID. But first thing first, okay, just a warning, always good to have. I should maybe share the link into the Taurus Discord, right? Public content, everyone. I am live. Okay. And so, where is my chat? It's here. Nick Meunier is here. Hello, mate. Glad you subscribed to the notification. So you know, there was a few ideas I talked about. Maybe first last week, I ended up the week with rather bearish tone. So I was still mainly short at that moment last week. But you know, it was pretty clear. I say, as long as we are below the order block here, well, I can read a pretty clear ABC move up, and I can see continuation down into a C wave, into new lows here. But thankfully, I shorted not at the low, like some emotional not trader might do, but we shorted the week prior during that sweep, right? So had a fairly good short nonetheless. Me to take profit, because there was one take profit, well, always where there is liquidity, so that was 2 points of liquidity. So to take profit on force. And as soon as we closed back above that order block, well, things are pretty straightforward, right? We did just jump a bit crazy. Initially, we kind of run, pretty strongly on the Monday morning. You know, after we closed the week not so bad. So I managed to grab an additional long here, because there was a nice, clear, very low time frame corrective move. But I say, okay, you know, as long as we don't take the high, that might be just a bull trap and we continue down. But if we have to continue up, well, that means that consolidation is gonna be a wave 4 of some degree. So I'm counting the potential corrective move, seeing target reach, lower time frame liquidity taken, grab the long here, and we went into the crazy fake news event of the week, right? I suppose everybody is aware of it as of now, but you know, Cointelegraph posted a tweet saying the BlackRock ETF was approved, which was not the case in fact, but everybody shared the same news without any sort of sources, and it ended up being fake. So what did we do? Well, we retraced quite heavily, which made the thing extremely hard to count on the lower time frame here, but I got a few ideas, so I'm gonna share them. Firstly, we had the idea of a corrective count, a corrective upside count. You know, initially we had a very nice ABC move here, so which could have been wave B and continue down. That was the D. I emphasize, I hope enough, that it was possible that we continue higher, especially looking at the liquidity above 30,300. Myself, I didn't grab a short here because I didn't put limit orders. And while this craziness was happening, I was busy trying to find any kind of source, looking into the SEC website, etc. And all of this happened in the just a few minutes. So while I was doing that, it was just too late. That said, the idea of this being corrective remain valid as long as we don't take 32k high, right? And that's still the case. So now I grab a short earlier today with this idea in mind. One tighter, higher leverage based on the lower time frame count that I'm gonna share with you in a minute. But also I'm edge here. I'm edge on my spot holding, and I will remain until we take 32k high. Right? And I will increase that in a bit more than edge if we come back higher, basically. Probably, and I will probably try to take another short if things are right. But at this point, I think it will be better for the bearish idea if we don't take today's high. Because otherwise, we also have potential bullish count that is valid as well. So let's make that in the simple ABC here. Okay, no, just before I show the bullish count, you know, there's the sub count here, ID. Yeah, let's start with that, and I show the bullish count in a minute. Sub count ID here. So basically, when we have such a move like this, you know, we know that it's likely a wave 3 of some sort. You know, the wave 3, the third wave are usually the strongest, with the strongest volume, where most of the markets join the party. And when we have such illiquidity, so a lot of short liquidation, a very large move and a very large wick, and a higher price reach on derivative exchanges where they sort to get liquidated, higher price than spots, that's where we can be looking for a truncation. So the idea is that it's, well, we have some kind of 1-2 here. I'm not gonna bother showing the sub count here, but probably a flat, whatever. This as a third wave. Here I'm reading a triangle consolidation, so a reequilibration of the demand and supply after a crazy move, after the books have been emptied. And then a fifth wave that's gonna be a truncated one on derivative, a lower high here. And you know, that's something we saw not so long ago, because that's what I was looking at here as well. You know, I was reading a similar move where we have big liquidity, big move down on derivative, higher low on spot exchanges, and we end up printing what I believe to be a truncated fifth here. So that's why I have this low as a main one here. You know, this is gonna be moved at the high as well. Just for now, it's just generality, but yeah, wave P gonna be the high here if that holds. And you know, if we look at Coinbase, for example, as a legit spot exchange, we have our third, fourth, and a fifth that is a lower low here. So it's just the time that market recalibrate, where here it took a lot more time. And spot exchange finish their move, take the final target, while derivative print a higher low. And here in that sense, same thing. We have a higher high on spot and a lower high on derivative for now. So yeah, it's kind of the same through process here on that. So I have an ID here for the lower time frame count. It's really high, so we'll see. But yeah, at least that was my target all week. At least golden pocket retracement. So yeah, we did reach 786 rather than golden pocket, so a bit higher. But I say, yeah, even if we retrace quite heavily, made a big wick like this kind of price action, you know, gonna tend to shake people out, and you know, the non-educated trader gonna see this as rather bearish, probably gonna want to short again. But at that point, you have so much spread between the candle close and the high, as you know, it does not give a clear invalidation for any kind of short from the low. Well, it's a very too far invalidation, but it kind of tend to bait people into say, okay, I'm gonna short because I feel this is gonna continue down all the way down. And then it starts to rise again, and they get stopped, liquidated, or just capitulate as it go up. And as we approach the high, FOMO kicks in again, and people tend to go long at the high again. Maybe this is gonna continue up, right? Maybe one that are been going long today early enough or low leverage enough are gonna end up in profit. But that's kind of risky, right? That's kind of the same thing. Where is your invalidation here? If you have your base of your impulse move here, or theory, we could retrace all the way back down here and still be in some kind of 1-2 and keep a bullish market structure here, right? So you can again liquidate everybody over leverage, and that I've been chasing long at the high. So the bullish count, now the bull count is the idea, well, you know, I'm not gonna redo the time frame, but well, I'm gonna redo that. It's gonna take a minute, but I probably already know. Bull case here, so that's the idea that we printed wave 1 up to April high, and we printed a flat correction here, which is here, right, as a wave 2, and we are entering the third wave, which biggest wave, strongest wave of the cycle, so potentially, yeah, a very strong move. That would be where we see the acceleration of the potential bull market of the cycle, if there is one indeed. Now, that said, if we're entering into a third wave here, we might still be printing a sub-wave 1 of that bigger third, have some kind of consolidation, and then enter the third wave of the third, which is gonna be stronger. Well, again, at the beginning of that, we might count a sub-wave as well, right? But with this idea, you know, it remains very valid, because for now, as much as we are still at resistance at the high of the range, or closer to the high of the range at least, we also still have a bullish market structure. And there is a few data points that are heading toward bull control territory. And for me, that's gonna be the very simple 200 daily moving average. The daily and the weekly, in fact. So daily in pink here, and the weekly here in orange. So we are above it. We'll see where the week close. The week is not finished yet. For now, we sustain several daily close above it, so that's for sure a sign or some sign of strength. We manage as well the day of the fake news pump to hold a higher low and hold above the daily level here. So as long as we hold this level at 28k, as long as we don't close a day below this, it's legit to be looking for upside still. So I'm still long as well. Just that here today, the trade to be taken is a short. I mean, might have been some low time frame long to grab, but that's another story. And I was looking for long on the retrace here. And I say, as long as that level holds, well, it's very fine to be still looking for long, at least for a retest of the supply of that week. And maybe if things going to go into some kind of acceleration, right? So yeah, that's basics. Hi, Hasta Vista is here, Jenny is here, good to see you. What do you think from an Elliott Wave perspective? Giving the answer here. A bit higher than expected, to be honest, saying 0.1. Well, yes and no, because I was looking at least the golden pocket personally of the Bybit week. But I'm kind of glad that we took the high on spot and we didn't on derivative, because that gave us kind of the same setup that we had here, right? At a very, very similar situation here potentially. Illiquid move, long liquidation, high volume. Illiquid move, short liquidation, high volume, almost equal volume here, a bit higher here on USDT, and then we have this move finishing a lower low on spot exchanges and a higher low on derivative, and the same here. So pretty much what I would have wanted to see. And I rather not see derivative high get taken, but that's not going to be the invalidation. The invalidation remain the high. What is making me very, maybe a lot more prudent on the bearish side here is really the fact that we are holding a bullish market structure. And we are holding and closing above the 200 moving average. I know it is a very simple indicator. It's a lagging one, but it says something. Now, it's not because we are above it that I'm just gonna be blindly only long and buying like crazy here. Happy to buy with closer invalidation lower. And I'm ready to see this fail, get reclaimed back below it, and this then become a bull trap. The same way than on the weekly. Kind of the same thing on the higher time frame weekly. By the time maybe it's going to be enough data. Closing below the 200 weekly moving average was a very roaring sign, especially as we never did so, apart from one candle here. But at the same time, say, well, as long as we hold a range here and if this range successfully reclaim, well, that become a nice bear trap. Now, as this is a simple indicator, also mean that while a lot of people might be looking at it, especially the less knowledgeable, I still think it's important to be aware of it. I'm not going to bait everything just on that. But you know, it retest once, retest twice. Now we have also the simple one. No, we are in between, so that's the place where it's still in between. Right? Is it a bull trap here? Is that a bull trap? Is that a bear trap? We might get back under it and above. At some point we'll reclaim it and it become a very strong support. That's why we look as well on the dailies, it gives more hint on the lower time frame, but it's the same thing. We lose it. Well, here, a good example. We start to lose it. So it play resistance. Then we start to over a bit above and under. We reclaim it. Then we lose it again. So we lose. End up being a bear trap. Some sort, you know, I'm a bit simplistic here, but yeah. Then we finally lose it and it becomes the trend resistance. And when after some time, when we really trend below that average, we start to reclaim it, it plays support and twice. So, you know, the market is seeking liquidity right now, so it's hovering above and under this average, but that's still something I like to keep in the back of my mind. So enough talk about that because everybody know already about that indicator. How did I count that? No, first thing, I mentioned that during Tuesday's stream that I let public. Okay, no, sorry. Just one thing I wanted to mention here. As the chat's gonna be more easy, but really more important than the moving average here is the anchor VWAP for me. And here we have an anchor VWAP on anchor VWAPs plural on an aggregated spot chart. You can see taken from the high of 2018. Here's this line that I've been building support in, where we have the last capitulation, like that move here. Just the only move that is below this here after we really break out. And so now we have this moving average at 19k, just below that little wick here. More important right now is the anchor VWAP from the high, from the all-time high currently. So there is two slightly different, one from the preliminary supply and one from the very high. But everything is coming at the same level here. Also the one from the March capitulation here, it support. You can see how, well, it is also a simple SF flip level, but all volume average is stacked here. And right now this is the most important resistance. That's why below 32k I don't mind be looking at another move down back at the low of the range, regardless of the moving average in between. Based on the volume, based on the structure, I don't mind a liquidity grab here. In fact, I would like it. You can see as well how the volume has been tightening a lot, which is not necessarily bearish or bullish sign, you know, it just means the market is less liquid. Mine seems to be bearish in some perspective, but with the market like Bitcoin, and here's volume in Bitcoin, not in dollars. We have to keep in mind that, well, it is an illiquid asset for the fact that people buying and hold it, right? And you can see how where it starts to really diminish in volume is on this rise, and it's rising on lack of liquidity. So might be perceived in bit as a lack of demand, but it's also a lack of supply. There is no much people willing to sell it anymore. So it's rising without much volume. Now, what would be good is indeed if we can have some kind of spike capitulation like we saw here. It's the same here. You have demand a bit picking up here at the low. Just should come back on my aggregated chart. It's gonna be a bit better here. Aggregated here. So you have demand picking up again here as we expand and picking up on the banking crisis here and as we reclaim them. So there is demand that made the step up, but now you can see that demand diminished and the move diminished in spread and in speed on the third one. We have two high volume that are, well, the two liquidation event on derivative here. That might be enough, but I would really like if we could have volume that is more comparable to a real big capitulation and see a very big flush of open interest again. One last one. Where is that gonna bring us? Is it gonna just sweep the lows here, maybe aggressive and reclaim? Or are we gonna be into something more severe and have a bit more reaccumulation? Or I don't know if the bearish case do play. I don't know exactly how it's gonna happen, but I would very much like that. So yeah, what I wanted to say on the lower time frame, just like a little tip. When that move happened Monday, I was kind of, yeah, well, I'm lost now in terms of count. I don't know. I was doing low time frame count on the morning, but now I have just no idea and no. Well, that count is not that move is not something we can count on the lower time frame, right? But as soon as we took the low of the pump where we started to really go vertical here, well, that's where I grab again a new long at the beginning of scalp. But I see this low get taken, I see things seeing reaction, I see we have increased selling volume on the move down, and then volume start to diminish here, and we maybe had, yeah, not even bullish div, but whatever. Just the fact that we sweep that low, that's just very simple liquidity stuff. I start to scale back again along, especially on the one that I've been taking profit, and to profit as we rise initially at least partial, because I didn't really grab the very low, but somewhere in here. Or I can have a take profit then, and I have a decent risk reward. I can close half of it, and at least I pay for the trade, right? And I'm again exposed to long. And then I grab a short here. Again, still no idea what the count, what it is, but I have a 1-1 expansion move here. Always had, I say 1-1, but I always have the 90% 1-1 pocket here. And we reach as well just a basic retracement here. So that the two nice trade I took out without any idea of the count at that moment, and just not being emotional about a very volatile move, and just basic stuff, right? 2 Swiss secret retracement, 1-1 extension, Okay, if this is bearish, I have to break down. Now I grab a long here, I grab a short here. Let's see what's happened next. I take profit in between, and we see. Wait a minute. No, that was the 3-2 that I took. Yeah, because I was... Sorry. Yeah, that was a few minutes after. I let its things play a lot more. Here we hit a 1-1 extension. 3-2. Well, if you had the same thing here, you could have grabbed a scalp short. And cover up from the high. So that was a confluence with order block here. The only order block we had in the move down. Sorry for the confusion. Simple TA stuff. But that can give some nice trade. So yeah, that was the short. Then I said, okay, now things are stabilized. We close the day nicely. I can be looking for long still. So I stayed long again. And ultimately we had that move. So I had a count ID this morning. And I'm going to explain this because it is interesting. If you do Elliott Wave and use it on a lower time frame, sometimes it can be a bit confusing. Indeed, right? So I end up with a triangle ID here because we have, well, after a wide move and a contraction, triangle makes sense, especially as we went out of a third wave. Triangle as a way for work well. And this was so much overlapping and not very impulsive moves that I say, yeah, okay, that might be part of a correction. What kind of corrective move I can have into that mess? And yeah, contracting. So the triangle work, and that allow me to have a count from that low here, not that one, and basically I started my first short on that because that's where we had 3, 4, 5. So okay, I'm gonna start to be looking for short, grab the short here. Initially have a bit of reaction, managed to scalp a bit because I had a nice entry on that. But in this kind of move, as we are, potentially, what I'm looking for short will be a very significant swing high. It's going to be a pivotal point. So what we look for is probably short liquidation, at least long getting trapped, which was the case already. There was new long opening along here, but potentially, short squeeze. So, looking at the 1 minute, that last move was not necessarily hyper clear. It went beyond the target. We'll be looking for a fifth, a terminal point, a short liquidation. It's kind of, I don't care. I have my complete count here. It's not that I don't care, but that's often gonna happen. You will have a pretty clean count finished, and you're gonna have one last move. When this sub move not gonna be a proper fifth wave structure, but just gonna be one last squeeze above your proper finish, where you're gonna have a squeeze, short getting stopped out, so a dump on open interest. And so okay, so I don't know in terms of lower time frame, but that still seems to be a good high. So come back into a short again. Hope that is interesting what I'm talking about. But because there's some stuff I'm trying to share on Discord and stuff here and there, but I know when you are watching this at the same time I'm starting to trade a bit Nasdaq and S&P here on a founded prop firm account. Managing 3, 4 chart, looking at open interest, at the order flow, at the wave count, at the other assets, at the other order flow chart, and sharing all of that. It's a lot of stuff sometimes in a very short time, right? I don't necessarily need to write down every count that I'm seeing. often, especially on the lower time frame when I'm drawing account, is more like to share and to explain what I'm reading than just for me, right? But yeah, sometimes the moves are so quick, I just can't be sharing everything live, right? So some gonna be predictive with a bit of margin of error, a bit of spread potentially, and some are gonna be after the fact, right? And so the move down here, in fact, and again, I just you know, I draw a few ideas. There's others here, but basically I was here. Okay, I'm looking 1-1 extension to see if there's reaction. So I took a bit profit on short. There's a bit reaction but weak. We go lower. Look again at this. We have contraction, potentially a triangle. So then we have the 1-1 extension coming here. Meantime, we have a 5 ways finish from the other high. Don't really know, but things seems to be exhausting a bit. We have bullish div. We have less volume. We have a higher spike, bigger liquidation, fear, capitulation, but at the same time less volume still. So yeah, I say okay, maybe this is an ABC flip long for a bit for a small trade here to profit. Say yeah, could be just an extension of this of the bigger third wave, but really I can only guess what the market is telling me right now. So right now I know it's not an ABC because we continue down. What I know from the high is I have, well, a high, a low, and a lower high. So I have a 1-2 here. I can look at that extension to look for where it's supposed to finish the third wave. Well, preferably 161.8, 261.8, 461.8. We don't quite reach it here. So I say, okay, that doesn't look like a proper third yet. So maybe we're gonna go into extension. Now we have a corrective move, so maybe that's an extension. At the same time we enter the weekend, so you know, maybe we just gonna range here, come back to the high again. Maybe we're gonna stay here a bit and come back down. It doesn't look very strong here, but you know, we just sweep the low. At least now with this low taken, it doesn't look like a corrective move down anymore. I'm just gonna stay short and see if there is a short higher or lower. Not sure I want to take a long here. I mean, this is a 1-1 extension, barely. Yeah, no, I think it's going to continue down here. We might be nearing capitulation at some point. Sorry, I'm gonna close the remaining here, I think. Yeah. Close it down. Okay. Let's take a look at open interest, if it is saying anything. Oh yeah, there was a few things. Still that famous trend line here. We went a bit beyond, but you know, we have this spike of open interest, so yeah, potentially bull trap here. We still need to lose a few level here to really get longs stressed a lot more. can see we have bearish div on that time frame here between Monday high and today high on derivative, and we have, well, a bunch of new position open. Well, initially here, aggressive long going here with negative founding, so quite an empty book. Push into a few liquidation event here, more visible on the lower time frame, but now in 15 minutes, let's see it, where do we have a lot of exposed position. Obviously that's gonna be, yeah, at 28,600. Below this, gonna have still $500 million trapped, and seems that the upper long already quite capitulated, and there's still a few 100 million that are opened during that consolidation. You know, say, oh fuck, things are moving, I'm not in, or I want to buy more into that consolidation. Things move, oh, cool, I can peace out, let things do whatever they want. I put my stop just below the low at break even, whatever, and that's, well, where they will be stop getting triggered or position getting underwater, and that's where you start to have some kind of, yeah, head and shoulders or whatever, top information, market structure change. We can see also the big difference right between when we rise here, big increase in open interest from the support, in fact the green zone here, on really diminishing founding. Started at the low, but yeah, without much, but here, you know, really looking rather bullish in theory. You never know, because if the seller here are just big sellers that have enough ammo to break things down, maybe derivative trade at a discount, but that could break down either way. But in theory, that's, yeah, rather bullish, and after the fact, obviously, but now you can see the shift here clearly, right, where founding go back into positive and trend up here, and this big rise of open interest. So here you have aggressive long, but rather not FOMO, rather, yeah, just bidder here, or at least supported by spot buyers, not just long FOMO. And now you have, on that move, you have spot seller highlighted by this with FOMO here. So probably you want to liquidate on all of that and come back maybe in this zone, and we'll see if at some point we'll break all of that structure or not. All of that structure, I mean that, right? Because for now we have been holding higher lows on the open interest, so, you know, it's not impossible we get a big move or a big liquidation of the short side. We continue up, but if we start to trend down and lose support here, and then we have long capitulating it, or just have very big acceleration at some point, yeah, all of the long that have been safe so far here are gonna be triggered. And nonetheless, whatever high volatility it seems here on the high time frame, we are still in pretty tight volatility right now, so things can accelerate as well a lot more. and I think we are nearing a moment where we're gonna have really big liquidation here. Matter of which side. So I share the two potential count in the higher time frame. The smaller time frame, that's not obvious here. Really not obvious. I'll guess a flat maybe here. You know, maybe come back here. I mean, lower high or sweep the high and continue down. So what seems to be the most sensible here. Oh, we have a triangle here maybe as a wave 4. So we could come back on that idea to have a small third wave. And have a wave 4 and a 5th like this. Yeah, I guess that will work. Yes, which could allow, in theory, a retrace to the golden pocket into that trend line here. 186 retrace on the high. It could allow a bit more ranging. Thing is, I would prefer us to jump before the weekly close. So maybe we get a bit of bounce over the weekend, we print a lower high and we jump on Sunday. I'm not gonna close off all my long for now. You know, I had take profit spread because I had no idea where it was gonna go. I'm not really feeling like adding any long here. I mean, we have a real market structure chain so far. We had a valid top, a bunch of volume trapped. At the high of the range, we SFP on spot. Thing I could consider maybe is if we go into some kind of extension, you know, maybe buy back somewhere here. We're gonna be the golden pocket from. No, because if this is a wave 4, no, if the wave 4 finish here, then that's gonna be important. Also, yeah, maybe here we sweep this liquidity here from this morning consolidation, where we have overexposed long. If this holds. If this hold here, I might be willing to add along, but I would like to see some cleaner structure, you know, a bit more ranging, come back, sweep that low, sweep a bit here, and then, okay. I'm maybe not trying to knife catch, but rather wait for some kind of reaction, some invalidation, and maybe play that way. In theory, you could do that here as well, as you have a bit of a leading diagonal that might be printing here, and that's really low time frame. It's just wait for some kind of up, come back, sweep that, and here maybe long into this, you know, kind of play I like to do when uncertain like this. if I see a bit more strength. Yeah. But that's not the easy part to trade. Definitely not. Well, let's see. Monday set the tone. It was not going to be easy. Most easy was just that one, into emotional movement. You know, that's why I wanted to talk about it. Just it's something it's gonna often do. I would have glad to be taken one here as well, you know. Just wait for the reaction. But when you have a very strong big pump and it retraces all the way down, usually you have a nice reaction when you take the base of the pump. At least a reaction, not necessarily full reversal. Did I miss any message? Because there was not much. No, there is not. Okay, it's holding here. Good. Just trying to think about something here. Where's gonna be the vessel? Where is it gonna be? Because if my triangle is not right, there is no obvious count here. It's just none. Triangle really sorts things out for me. May have a 1, 2, 3. Maybe you come here to the 31k. That was my next target potentially. That's gonna be a rather sign of strength. So rather short for me. But in that case, we'll be holding the wick rather strongly. And if we do reject from here, well, we reach target for a third, and maybe we enter into some kind of consolidation where I will be rather willing to long a fourth wave here. Because that would mean, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the higher time frame 3. That's gonna be the one that will take the high here. And then I will just let things play a bit until I can read some finish, because here I'm suggesting one potential pass for the upside. Yeah, maybe there's gonna be a short up here, but that's gonna be tricky because we don't know for sure if it's gonna indeed play like something like this and have again consolidation, and then that's gonna be the best long to be taken. Or is this a 1-2, a sub 1-2, and some kind of 1-2 and a sub 1-2, and then we just go vertical, which I doubt still, but yeah. Yeah. So I cannot really share good long here. Probably gonna be later if things turn out good. I just hope we just don't break out directly here. I mean, I'm fine. I'm still long, spot long, and I still have longs running here, but yeah, the best thing that could happen for a breakout from my side, it's gonna be a nice first wave here and a nice few weeks of consolidation, and then we can position to see if we have a deeper or more shallow consolidation. Yeah. to look for that second wave. I know otherwise short at the moment. At least edge on the spot position. I think that's a sensible way to be right now, non-financial advice. So obviously that's quite some spread. You cannot really do any kind of leverage trades based on the big short here. You might take another one here at golden pockets, or yeah, around around the 50 golden pocket here. I could see a move here. Have a wick here, so we have a bit of liquidity above this bounce high here. Oh, there is a decent one here. Around 29,900 on inverse. And in terms of stock here, I'm going to highlight this because I think the low here from October is very important, and it could have implication for Bitcoin as well. You know, I shared the count several times. I say, okay, as long as this hold bull here, as long as the 50% hold here, we don't overlap that high, we don't come back below 42, 41. Okay, I can see another move up. We did have a reaction. We have what could be an impulse. And as long as this holds, I can see still potentially a move toward new local high, new all-time high to be seen, but for now with a bearish path still. And that works as well for the bearish case, in fact, where whereas then the idea for the bearish case is that we have the high of July that's gonna remain, and we're gonna break the low of October last year, and maybe more. The idea for that is from our this year high as well. We either have a BC corrective structure, so as long as this hold, yeah, okay, we can look for either new high or as long as this hold, we can look for range for this as a range, right? We can come back here again and have, even in the bearish case, have a wave 2 that just go a bit higher here into the golden pocket, for example. And validation would be the high of September. Right, so yeah, the idea is this can remain here, and that move has been pretty deep, pretty aggressive, so I don't see it going much lower and being sensible, but it's still a valid corrective move as well. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still, yeah, right in line. And if we start to lose this, well, I see the bearish path a lot more likely then. That says that doesn't mean necessary capitulation right away, right? Like this suggests a big third wave with expansion. It might be, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are into the sub wave 1 of this larger 3, and so we can again hold support a bit more, rise again, and you know, it doesn't have to be well, lose this and short it to the ground, but you know, the world situation are not getting greater since I have my bearish sentiments on the stock market. Where is this gonna have an implication on stock? Is it gonna get better? Is it gonna get worse? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't feel it's... I don't see things getting better, personally. I mean, regarding the Middle East situation and all the implication. But this is so, you know, so tense, getting very, very emotional as well. You know, it's not necessarily extremely smart to be bearish here at support, rather at the low. But at the same time, yeah, or whatever, I'm just saying, right? Real world can have implication on what happened on the market as well, even if often the market seems to be uncorrelated to it. At some point we may have something a bit more severe and yeah, whatever. So I'm still trying to, you know, I'm still scalping. Anyway, what I'm trading on stock is just scalp because I have to close the position each day. So yeah, anyway, I'm just taking scalp up and down gladly. I'm just aware that if we start to break down, I might be a bit more tempted to short even intraday. And if we have some kind of capitulation on stock at some point, yeah, you know, maybe you're gonna see Bitcoin crash down a lot more severely. There's way too much level on this chart. Way too many chart on my stuff. I think it's coming to an end anyway here. Unless I see something else interesting. I mean, no, oh yeah, okay, that's maybe just to mention a target in case we have a big move down between now and next week. It's gonna be obviously the low here. It's gonna be a major take profit on the short side. And you know, around 1-1 extension, rather on log. Not gonna be too much different. Did you have any questions? No? I see things. Yes, things are going away now, so yeah, I guess that. It was my pleasure to be your guest this evening. I hope it was not too... It was clear enough. I know sometimes I'm shifting between so much charts, so much scenarios that it can be confusing. I'm trying to clear things as much as possible, but at the same time I've been doing so much things lately that yeah, can't necessarily have only clear things, and I want to share as much as I can that I have in my mind. But thanks for watching, joining me. Have a good weekend, take care, and see you soon.